Hey guys, welcome back. This is Michelle Lenore, and today we're going to talk about interviewing. When was the last time you had an interview? And you might be saying like, Michelle, I'm a small business. I don't go to job interviews, but we do. We interview others when we're networking. We're interviewing others when there is an opportunity for a contract or a vendor relationship. We are interviewing. And this is no different than the interview that you have to go through. When I say have to, it's there is no go past, I don't have to do. You have to interview with a government representative to get DBE certified. So there are a few guidelines that I want you guys to keep in mind. And yes, the person who is interviewing is the owner. They are the highest percentage owner. If they are not, then they are accompanied by the higher percentage owner. So it can be just more, it can be more than one person. It could be one to two to three, depending on your partnership and percentages. But the person who has the higher percentage is the one who's responsible for that interview. Okay. So when we take a look at the like the four like main characteristics that they are looking for the different representatives, these are the four. So before I get into that, one of the questions I get is, Michelle, how long does the interview last? I had one client, the interview lasts from 5 minutes, and that was it. They came in, they took a look at her shop, and guess what? The interview was over. I had another client, the interview lasted for 3 hours, right? So, again, have that conversation, ask them how long should this session last. There's nothing wrong with asking that. Is it in person or is it virtual? There is still a mix. It used to be always in person, but because of COVID, things have changed. And guess what? It could be either or. So you do have that conversation. Is it in person or is it virtual? And but again, it's still an interview, a live interview that you have to have. So a few things is about the finances. So when we talk about the finances or the money, we're talking about salaries. In the previous video, I talked about, if you own 70% of the company and you're getting paid $50,000 and someone who owns 30% or less and they're getting paid $75,000, that's a problem, right? But you do have to understand that if that's a problem, be prepared to explain it. And if you're explaining it according to their guidelines, then it might be okay. If it's not, then why are they making $25,000 more than you're making, right? Anything that you say, anything that you have already submitted for the DBE certification and application, they can ask you for backup for it. So during this interview, please don't grandstand. Please don't go beyond whatever that you believe that you can do, what you have done. You talk about what the business is all about, what you offer, and even where the business is looking to grow. Okay, so you can have those types of conversations. Again, if you are saying, my business makes only $30,000 a year, you should have already submitted that information. But if they ask for that same information, you do have to produce it. If you're saying, like, oh, my receipts, I'm at $250,000 this year, then guess what's going to happen? They want to see the backup. So, whatever that comes out of your mouth, be prepared to supply support, as in something written. Okay, that could be an email, that could be a contract, that could be an insurance policy, that could be pictures. It's what they're asking for. The other thing concerning finances is who has control of the bank. And when I say the bank, I'm talking about who can withdraw money outside of the bank, right? From that account. If you're saying that you are the owner and you do not have the capacity to withdraw money, out of that particular bank account, then that is a problem, right? So going into that part of also control. So when we talk about control, control is who has the authority to hire and fire. And if you're like, oh no, I don't hire fire, I don't supervise, I don't have any control, then that would be an issue, right? Again, if you're the highest officer within that company, why don't you have the the responsibility and the capability or even the capacity to hire and fire? All right. Next is negotiations. So when we look at contract reviews, who is actually doing the negotiations? Now this one can this one has some flexibility, because if you have different people who are out in the field and they are speaking on your behalf, even though they may be negotiating different contracts and things for you, in the end, you are the last person who says yes or no for that particular contract, or you're the one who created the policies and have them follow those policies. So it's really not them negotiating the contract, is them following the rules that you've already set aside for them to follow to negotiate contracts. So they can't go outside those guidelines. So you explain that. So as your business grow, of course, you can't be a part of every contract, but your eyes should be able to, you lay your eyes on it. And of course, you should be signing off almost like a second signature. And the last, but not, this isn't all of it, but this is something that most definitely you want to think about, is the scope of business. How can your business help Department of Transportation, the Department of Transportation? How can this particular business help the government of this particular state? This is really important. You need to have a program in place. You need to have an understanding in place of how this is going to support truck drivers and different areas in transportation and different areas in construction and different areas of consultation for construction and transportation and for the state. If you do not have this, you most definitely need to stop, think about, okay, what is this that I need to do? You need help, most definitely reach out to me for one of my consultation sessions that I have. We'll go through it from nuts to bolts to make sure you have a very solid program in place. And you may say, Michelle, in what industry? It doesn't matter. Well, it almost doesn't matter when it comes to gambling and tobacco and things like that. That's completely different. I don't help out with those particular areas, but everything else, yes. So one of the industries is beauty. I was able to help a young lady get her licensing or her certification. I'm sorry, within the beauty industry. It's like, Michelle, how does that help construction? Well, you have to understand that the DOT, this program is also a part of the Federal Transit Authority, right? So this is also helping aviation, the federal aviation. So this is the airports. We're looking to help get her product within the airports, right? So when you're like, oh, okay, I get it. So just think of something along that line of, what can I do to get my product into the airport? So again, do you have a program in place? Have you really thought about how this is going to help your particular business to get certified? It's not just to get certified. It is, you have to get certified, but how are you going to help that particular business? So if you guys have more questions, if you're like, Michelle, I'm ready to go to the next level, or I need more help, I'm not sure exactly what the interview process is. 5 minutes, I can handle 5 minutes. 3 hours, I'm not sure what to say about those 3 hours. Most definitely reach out to me. Let's have a conversation and see exactly, where do you fall? Where do you fit in? Where do I fit in? Where does this all fit in for me? Then most definitely reach out to me. Information is down below, and I look forward to continually to inform you about the DBE program. and how it can make your business from 5 figures to 8 figures. Bye.